Willie Shiny, everyone. My name is Kay, and welcome back to Breaker Mode Experiences of a Black PCV. I hope everyone is having a beautiful hump day and is finishing out their work week strong. Today is a special day for me because today marks the year anniversary since I received my invitation to join the Peace Corps. I never forget the morning I realized that I got invited. I was sleeping so soundly and peacefully. Someone was like, wake up. And I woke up and on my notification bar it said, congratulations, Kadrome Monet Hubert. And I saw the little Peace Corps symbol and I just started screaming and running around and just crying a little bit. And I called my best friend, I called my mentor, I told my dad, I was just so ecstatic. And then I went to work. I was fresh out of college and I just started this retail job. I was so broke, and all of my customers and anyone that was willing to listen, I was like, yeah, I just got invited to join the Peace Corps. I'm going to be teaching English in Africa and da 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 this and da 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 that. Like, I was at my all time high. And so that is what my segment is going to be about. I'm going to briefly open up about why I joined the Peace Corps and, significant moments that helped me get here. So my senior year of high school, I never forget, I was in the auditorium and I was talking to two teachers. And I was like, man, yeah, like I want to become a doctor and I want to backpack around the world, I want to join the Peace Corps. Now, for those of you who do not know me, I am from Aldine Melroute. I went to MacArthur High School, and there was no kid that I knew was talking about joining the Peace Corps. Maybe the military, maybe something like that, but never the Peace Corps. I can't even tell you where I heard the term Peace Corps from. But the reason why this moment is so important to me, because as soon as I said that, I had a teacher turn around and she was like, the Peace Corps, there ain't no money in that. Yup, she said that. It has stayed with me. I remember. Okay, so of course, I end up going to college. I started off at Lone Star College. Then I transferred to the University of Texas. And when I got to UTSA, it was struggle city. I worked about 2 to 3 jobs just to pay the rent. I was struggling so much. I was so tired from working all these dead-end jobs that sometimes I wouldn't even make it to class. However, by my junior year, I got it together. I started turning around, I started laying down my roots. But, it was time for a change in pace because, y'all, I was so broke. During the month when they had the HIV testing drives, I would just go there to get the free Chick-fil-A gift card. Me and my mom had this running joke with about 1,000 pennies. So she'll call me. She's like, "Hey, I put 1,000 pennies in your account." I'm like, "Mom, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." Like that would either go in my stomach or in my gas tank. Or sometimes I will, split that off 50-50. It was struggle city. So like I said, during my junior year, I needed a change in pace. So coming from class, there was a study abroad fair underneath the pavilion. So I went there, I tabled around, and I came across this table that was recruiting this program called Soul Education. And Soul Education was one of the most affordable study abroad programs, and they also helped their applicants obtain grants and scholarships to be able to study abroad. So I was talking to this guy, and I was like, okay, like, I really would love to do this. But in the back of my mind, I was like, who the hell am I kidding? Like, I could barely afford to pay the rent. Like, how am I going to do this? However, God works in mysterious ways because about a year later, not only did I receive an invitation to study abroad in Costa Rica, but I received a grant, a study abroad grant based on a paper that I wrote. For those of you who do not know me personally, writing is my thing. When I am stressed out, when I am happy, when I am doubtful, when I just overcome like when I just triumphed in something, I write. Writing is definitely my thing. Like, so yeah. So that June, I studied abroad in Costa Rica. Yep. I stayed with the host family, Senora Nancy and Senor Jaime. I went to the University of Costa Rica. I mixed and mingled with other students that were from all walks of life. I danced. I tasted different foods. It was beautiful, and that is the moment that sprouted my seed into joining the Peace Corps. I was like, man, if I can just live and just, start to get to know about myself when I'm not stressed out between school and work and paying rent and paying bills and putting gas in my car, like, I can join the Peace Corps. So another thing that helped me is my mentor, Dr. B. She is Ghanaian, and throughout when she was going to school, one of her teachers was a Peace Corps volunteer. So when I came to her student, I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about joining the Peace Corps. And she was like, oh, that'll be so wonderful. That'll be a right fit for you. And so that's what helped me, like support goes a long ways, especially when a person is doubtful about a dream that seems so far beyond reach. Like my mentor, Dr. B, she's always telling me to, to be the flower and to be the light. And, sometimes that's hard because sometimes I want to be the thorn. And some days I really want to be the darkness. But, that's not good for the soul. So back to it. All right. So that's what helped me study abroad. Apply to the Peace Corps. I originally wanted to be a CHIP volunteer. And the CHIP volunteer, they work closely with the community and local clinics and hospitals to advocate for prevention from HIV and AIDS, as well as malaria and any like diseases of that sort. However, I am an emotional being, and so my mentor was like, you know what? I think teaching will be your forte. So I applied, and of course I got accepted January 9th, 2018. I was, of course, medically and legally cleared. However, I wasn't too thrilled about teaching. I had an experience when I mentored when I was 16 to some kids in the inner city, and I wasn't necessarily happy with the job. However, I had to think about that I was young and just a kid myself. So I applied to work at Children's Learning Adventure, and I swear it was the best thing in the world because that's where I figured out who Miss K was, who Miss K don't play was. And I swear everything that has happened in my life since my senior year of high school has happened for a reason because it led me to getting here. There were always there were either challenges or triumphs that allowed me to get here. Like I was doubtful about being able to join the Peace Corps because, for one, I come from very humble beginnings. Like I'm a girl from Aldie Road. I have a huge family that's loving, but I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I had to work about 2 to 3 jobs just to pay rent in college. My GPA wasn't the best because I had to work. There were so many doubts that I had. However, I read in this book called The Wall by Bishop Rick Hawkins, what does a man do when he arrives at a place that he only imagined himself to be? And that place is the Peace Corps. That place is Zambia. That place is Citron Province. That place is Chitambwa. That place is Mabonde for me. And what does a man do? What does a woman do? You know what she does? She creates a vlog and expresses how grateful she is of being here and how she is grateful for the people that have doubted her, for the people that have supported for her, for the moments of triumph and challenges that have shaped and molded her to be here. I couldn't imagine myself not being a Peace Corps volunteer. What if I would have listened to that teacher? What if I would have listened to that inner voice that spoke nothing but doubt and worry in my mind? If a dream or an aspiration scares you to death, go after it. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe and have a beautiful hump day.